Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of wargame review institutions. As I mentioned, I am overcoating all the stuff that I had painted in 2019, so I just wanted to show it to you guys. This is episode number 2. I did episode number 1 the other day, but these are Reaper Bones Nova Core figures. They include the base is molded in it, and you can paint up the base and stuff. I think it looks pretty cool. The original one I painted was here. I painted this at a paint and take, and I didn't know it was the female Nova Core. I thought it was just regular Nova Core, but I thought the troops were cool, so I went out and bought a bunch more. But as you can see, they're kind of neat. I'm going to use them in my generic sci-fi miniatures game as a science fiction SWAT team, so I think they'll work good for that too, where you can use them as like a boarding party, all sorts of stuff. The next figures, these are HeroClix Mr. Freeze figures. I got the HeroClix figures for like $1, so I pulled them off the bases. I mounted them on Necromunda bases, which paint up really nice, and I repainted the figure as best I could. I think they look really cool. They look like I'm using them as some generic science fiction dude. I really like them. There's 2 more Nova Core I forgot to show you. I think this is the Sergeant here. But anyhow, so it's a 12-man unit. This is a HeroClix too. I think this is either a HeroClix or a Mage Knight. I think a HeroClix. And so I got them for like $1 or something. I put them on a base, and I think I got the base for free as a freebie for going to a convention. Painted up the base and then did a few minor modifications to his paint job. For 25 cents, I think it's pretty reasonable. Most of my paint jobs I've put on Cool Mini or not, I always get low scores. I don't know, maybe they just don't like my paint jobs. I think my paint job's okay. But anyhow, this one got a pretty high score. This is I think it's called Mcduck with Claymore. It's from Heritage. I originally got it. When I got it, it was painted, and I had to repaint the whole thing because the paint was scratched off. So the only thing I was able to salvage was the Scottish skirt on it, but I think it's pretty funny figure. I know someone who used this as a commander for his Roman army back in the days when everyone used to play Tactica. Painted this cowboy at a paint and take. It's a Reaper Bones figure. It turned out all right, I guess. I've done worse jobs. I just did a simple mounting here. I got a bunch of other Reaper Bones cowboys I got to paint, so I'll paint those sometime this year. These are some kind of frogmen from Reaper Bones. The one on the left I painted at a paint and take, and I thought it was okay. So I happened to have the one on the right, and I painted the one on the right at home. I think actually the one I painted at the paint and take was almost as good as the one on the right, and the one on the right I used a visor to paint it, so yeah, some kind of frog. I got this figure for $1 unpainted. Actually, it was partially painted, so I repainted it and mounted it. Not bad for $1 figure. It's kind of cool, actually. This is a Metal Reaper Chronoscope figure. I forget what it's called. I thought it looked kind of like the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. I put it on one of those sophisticated bases. Most people who have seen this didn't particularly like the figure. I think it's alright, but I guess it's just a matter of taste. I think it's okay. This robot is from Judge Dredd from Warlord Games. I put it on a Necromunda base. This guy here I got for like $1, and it was partially painted. I finished the paint job. Not my best work, but for a $1 investment, it's okay. This is from Reaper Chronoscope. I think it's called Laboratory Assistant or something. It's some little robot. I tried doing a different layering technique. I don't do layering usually, so I tried doing it on this, and I think it looks okay, but people I know who do layering all the time think it looks horrific, but whatever, I like it. This I painted when I was really young. I think this was like 25 years ago when I painted this. This is Alexander the Great. I guess it looks okay for back then. I just don't like the way his hair turned out. I finally got around to overcoating this. It's just sitting in a box somewhere. I think this is a Knoll. My friend painted it. I think it's awesome. he did a really good job on it. He painted this about, that was a while ago. Man, that must have been about 15 years ago. But I think it looks cool. And right here is what I've been told this is the worst paint job I've ever done in my life, and I think they're right. This is a, what would you call it, a fire elemental. I don't know what I was thinking. It looks more like lava than fire. It looks just terrible. I was thinking of throwing it out, actually, but I don't know. I decided to keep it. The base looks okay, but the figure itself just looks absolutely horrific. There are some wine barrels that I painted up. These are from that new D&D series. I don't know if they're resin or they're plastic or what. Price was pretty inexpensive, so I painted them up. Generic dungeon scenery. I painted these over 20 years ago. These are Reaper skeletons. Let me take a few out. Yeah, they're very simple, but I've used them in tons of D&D games. They get the job done. Obviously, you know, I'm a better painter now than I was back then, but they're okay. They're not bad. Let me show you. There's one that looks ridiculous. It's not because of my paint job. Here's one here. He has 2 crossbows. This is just silly. How's he going to reload a crossbow with another one in his hand? Reloading a crossbow is a big... I don't know if any of you have ever shot a crossbow, but it's a pain in the butt to reload. And if you don't pull evenly on the strings, then the crossbow bolt will either go right or left. Here's some more. And more, and more, and more, and more. And here's some, I got these. I didn't paint these at all. I bought these at auction for $1 each or something. They look like kind of like minotaurs or something. They're kind of some kind of Reaper figures. And 2 more things. This was partially painted. I finished it as just some kind of centaur. I don't know if it's from Relpartha or what. And here's a Relpartha elf. I used to have a bunch of these, but I think I ended up selling them. But yeah, I painted this a long time ago, but that's functional. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I will have another video probably in a few days because I have plenty more to overcoat. And I dropped a box filled with figures, and a bunch of them, the paint got all messed up, so I have to do some touch-up painting on them and overcoat them. And then after I'm done with all that, then I'll start showing you guys the other stuff in my collection. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel. Have a good evening.